All right, so Toronto homes, totally affordable once again. All you will need is $1 million, a miracle, all the expenses paid in the next 40 years, help from the entire family. Happy Fool's Day, everyone, and let's break the average salary versus $1 million average price of Toronto and how this actually looks in 2025. All right, everyone, I know we're joking. It's April's Fool's Day today, April 1st, but this is the actual reality. If we are breaking down the actual concept of the affordability and how everything looks, it seems to be a joke. It almost feels like April Fool's Day every single day. So I had a conversation this morning with an acquaintance. They called me up and they said, like, look, my average, well, the salary that they have is around $65,000, which is actual average for Toronto. And they were looking for a house. So obviously they had some, demands or wish lists and all of that stuff. But a home being around $1 million in Toronto is definitely hard. So they said, like, look, I can save on average $1,000 a month, which is not bad actually, right? Like, they're living in a basement and all of that stuff. I don't know if they're at a parent's basement or somewhere else, but they can save $1,000 a month. So then I took obviously the calculator. I was breaking down some numbers, and let me tell you guys, this is ridiculous, right? Like, this is totally ridiculous. It totally doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But let us get into some numbers. So a $65,000 salary versus $1 million home in Toronto. Can you really afford it? Obviously, it's a joke, right? So for you to accumulate 20% down payment, right? For $1 million is $200,000. Having said that, saving 20% of the salary of $65,000 would be roughly around $13,000 per year, which translates into saving time of 15 years. Imagine that for a second. 15 years. Now, moving further, even let's say, okay, fine. So you have been saving for the last 15 years and you finally got to $200,000 somehow. I don't know how, but you got there. Miracle, right? As we mentioned in the beginning of the video. Now your mortgage is $800,000. So the mortgage monthly cost plus tax, heating and all of that stuff equivalates to somebody qualifying between $180,000 and $200,000 income. All right, so since it's April's Fool's Day, just walk up to a colleague, to a friend that you know, okay? And just say, hey, look, it's April, I just did my taxes for the last year, and guess what? I made $200,000 of income last year. You know what they will do? They will laugh, because I don't remember the last time I heard anyone making these kinds of numbers. I don't remember, right? Obviously, there are professionals out there, doctors in professional fields and all of that stuff, that do push these kind of numbers. But even taking a leap of faith or bringing a client, being a doctor, to a house like that, that's almost falling over or falling apart, and it's valued at $1 million, they would say, no, it's not my cup of tea. I need something better for $1 million, right? So, but let us move forward. Scenario number 2. Let's say, because we were talking, I said, okay, hold on a second. So how about you don't save the 20%? And you save 5%, right? CMHC will be involved in all the insurance and all of that stuff, but you can get into the game much, much faster. So let's break it down. So the first 5% of 500,000, 10% of the next 500,000, so it's $60,000 down payment in total. So the mortgage plus the insurance, it will be $960,000 mortgage, which is a monthly cost of $6,500. Now, in order for someone to qualify, they have to make close to $250,000. All right, they have to make close to $2 million, and to come up with the down payment, right, it'll take them around 5-6 years. So having said that, when you look at everything, I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Like, it's even worse. They're giving you the opportunity, right? In the bank, they say, well, don't worry about it, right? Like, just give us 5% instead of 20, and we'll charge you for it. Okay, I can agree with that. There's got to be some type of insurance. However, now I have to qualify with my income, right? And we all know that income nowadays, it's extremely hard. Like, we're going through a turbulent time, recession, tariffs, the living expenses, and everything that has been going on. It makes it almost impossible, right? So then the reality check now, this is April Fool's category level, all right? So hear me out. Someone qualifying at $65,000 of income is qualifying in the banks between $300,000 to $350,000. All right, so let's digest this for a second. So I do not know anything that has been listed other than a single car garage that's valued at this price. No condo, no studio apartments, no single hallway apartments, like with no windows. There's nothing, literally nothing that has been listed, right? And then on the contrary, people will say, well, hold on a second, right? Why would they want to live in Toronto? Well, look, Toronto is the hub. This where things are happening, the unemployment and everything else. Not everyone has the luxury to live outside the city, right? People just don't have the luxury, right? And yes, prices are less, right? But they're not less to that extent that they're extremely, like, you know what I mean? Like buying a house here for $1 million, and then if you move an hour from here, the house will be $150,000. It's still in the 700,000s, right? So however you slice it, the point that I'm trying to make in the golden horseshoe is that it is impossible to save the down payment. It is impossible to actually bring the income, personal income, to a level where you can say, hey, look, I can still bite the bullet, ride a high cost, however, I'm in a property. So however you slice this pie, it is almost impossible to have it ride the way it is, because if no one can afford it, nobody can buy it. So what will happen? You can list a house for $1 million, for $2 million, for $10 million. It doesn't matter. The asking price is for how much you have sold it. And now, adding on top of that, you know, the ridiculous situation of condos, what we have been going through, inventory skyrocketing, people losing money, drowning in debt, right? Not only mortgages, a line of credits, like even visas, even car payments, education, schooling, life. When was the last time you went to a grocery store, right? Like, you gotta eat. Like, you cannot eat under $10, $15 a day, right? Like, you just cannot. And if you eat more than once a day, it'll cost you, right? So just digesting everything, it feels like and seems like that the 90s recession in Canada and the 2008 in the United States that they have experienced, we have seen a little bit less here in Canada, less of an effect. But I believe that this time around, we will not be able to get out of it. Like, we have to, and we will pay for these consequences. So I hope you got good value out of this. I hope you have also laughed, and I hope that these pranks that we can do in April Fools, we can relate to our actual life, and we can relate to our actual real estate situation in 2025. So stay strong. Again, stay positive. Try to get out of debt as fast as you possibly can, and hopefully future will bring something positive. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.